What up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do always start this show by being transparent. And yesterday, it turned out to be a pretty good day for me. College football was kind of annoying. I went 1-1. I ended up taking FIU +5. They covered, and I took Louisiana Tech first half. Did not cover. NBA though, 3-0. So that was a great start to the season. I had Celtics first half, which we talked about here. I had Anthony Davis over 24 and a half points, which we talked about. That was a good one too. He mentioned it after in the interview. He said, I was doing defensive player of the year type stuff out there. And last but not least, I had Nas Reed over 1.5 3. So I love the start to the season. Veno, you had to have a good day too.
Well, NBA wound up being a split because I had the Boston and Knicks over, which 79 at halftime. Boston was killing it. I think 113 after 3. It was kind of crazy. So that gets there. The Minnesota side did not. That winds up being a split. In college football, Skee, I think I had the absolute worst bet I've had in, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, 14 months. To have FIU and Sam Houston over 46 is halfway embarrassing to even say in a 10-7 final. That was ridiculous to watch.
Yeah, I was man, that one was I stopped watching after a while until the fourth quarter when it got interesting.
Yeah, it hurt your eyes.
Not a good game to watch for sure. I think I was locked more in on the NBA by that time. But shout out to everybody in the chat. Appreciate all you guys. A lot of the usual suspects in there. Prolific says, "What up, people? Smash the like." So Skee gives out another winner. Cast the AD prop. Love to hear that. My guy Mark in the building. Made it home yet, Mark? I know you were out here for a while, so hopefully you made it home safely. Let's see. Science Project had 80s rebounds. Boofer says we should have laddered those 80 points. Yeah. I mean, he was putting 30 pieces up every single time. We should have laddered. I know Josh laddered though. So Josh got paid. He did the right thing. D Rose a legend. Munoz. Bryce in the building. Hey, I love seeing all the familiar faces, all the, everybody in the chat. NBA is bringing everybody back around. I love it. And if you guys could hit the like button, it would help out the show quite a bit. Our good friend Kyle Robb, he's over here. He says, refs robbed the Knicks last night. Should have been a win. I hope Kyle wasn't on the Knicks. I know he's just joking anyway, but it'll be nice to talk to you as well, Kyle, throughout the season. So let's get to it. We have a hell of a lot of games today, and we'll start with 505, 506. Indiana and Detroit. Indiana opened up -5.5. I think it dipped down to 4.5, and now it's coming back up to 5. Even some 5.5s out there. Total open 233.5. Looks like 235 right now. Injury report: Jackson is game time decision. Thompson is out for Detroit, and so is Clintman. This one, Veno, my initial thought was to take the Pacers. Just thinking, maybe Pistons added a veteran or added a couple players. I just still am not buying them being that good. The Pacers, I think, proved to me how good they were last year, especially in the playoffs, and they're healthy now. So I don't see why they can't win this game by margin. Lean Pacers, probably also lean over. How are you viewing this game?
Yeah, I lean the same ways, but I lean specifically towards Pacers team total over. I trust that. It was 119.5. It's kicked to 120, but we know they can put up 120 on any given night. And like you say, even with Benedict Mathurin back now, remember he missed all the playoffs last year, so they just have another proven scorer. It's a team that we talked about teams yesterday that might be a little bit hungry this season. I'm sure the young Pacers, and there's no change to their system, right? I mean, they came right out and said, we're going to play as fast as we could possibly play. They believe in that system. And Detroit, I guess this is the first show where we'll start with some quotes, Skee, but from Detroit's end of the spectrum, JB Bickerstaff, new head coach, like you said, few new veteran pieces. His comment simply was this: we will be a work in progress all season long. And that's our mentality going into the year. We will not be a finished product. We don't expect to be. This is something where we're looking at the big picture. Our aim is to continue to get better until we feel like we're a complete team, blah, 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 blah. I won't read the rest. But it tells you right away that they're working on a bunch of stuff. This is a grassroots effort here. And I don't think you want to play Indiana right out of the chute, home, road, neutral, anywhere. So I think team total, Indiana, the right way to play. And if I could just kick over, because, we like to go in different directions than just the game sometimes, pop culture here. I was reading this morning that Jalen Duren had to stop dating Angel Reese because she wouldn't stop talking about Caitlin Clark, and it drove him nuts. So he told her to get lost. Kind of crazy.
Are you serious?
Yeah, that's what I read this morning.
Oh my god, I gotta check that one. I don't know.
Yeah. Anybody who's seen it in the chat, help us here, because he was saying stuff like she'd wake up in the middle of the night, want to talk about Caitlin Clark. Like,
what the hell? That's weird. That's weird. I don't know. That kind of threw me off right there. But look, Kyle. Look at Kate. Everybody in the chat. Wait. Kate says, "No way, that's true." Kyle says, "Yo, what?" I don't know, man. SK says, "Rob got that gossip."
Yeah, let's do our due diligence, gang, because I read it and didn't pursue it. But yeah, I was like, wow, that's interesting.
Oh man, we got something to look up when we get off the show. Let's keep moving on down the list. Next up, we have Nets at Hawks. It's probably one I'm not going to say the most about, but open 7.5-point favorites for Atlanta. I see 6.5 now. Total open 220.5. It looks like 222.5, even a 223 out there. A lot of people on the injury report. So we'll start with Brooklyn. You have Bojan Bogdanovic out, Sharp out, Wofford out. For Atlanta, Zeller out, Lundy out, Buffkin out, Barlow out. This Brooklyn team, I don't know. When I look at them on paper, I don't think they're supposed to be as bad as like the win total, or as like everybody's thinking that they're going to be this season. But on the same foot, Atlanta, I have faith in Trey. And whenever I see him at home and them just now trading away Murray and just like kind of giving him the keys, and I feel like he wants to put on a performance. So for that reason, I would lean towards Atlanta. Probably just trade props, but nothing I got involved with. Anything you're looking at in Nets versus Hawks?
Yeah, I had to scratch this one, Skee, simply because Atlanta's talking so much about defense. Even all the way to Clint Capella, talking about defense, and we need scrappy people around here to go after the ball the way that I would, and stuff like that. So I just don't put Atlanta and defense together right away. We haven't seen any of that in about 5 years, but that's the way it looks like they're trying. Quinn Snyder's trying to direct them down that path, play a little bit more defense, and we can certainly score enough. We'll see how it works out. On the other side, you got a brand new head coach. Jordy Fernandez comes from Mike Brown's staff, so you might think defense there as well. And I'm kind of with you. When I look personnel-wise at the Nets, I don't think that they're exactly bottom feeders, but they too have a lot of work to do. So it's hard in a game like this. If I knew the Hawks were maintaining their same style, maybe I could have got involved somehow, some way, but I just don't know. The Hawks are talking about an awful lot about defense, and they got to show it to me first.
Yeah, so we really don't want to get involved in that one. Jeff, I appreciate you for that query. I'll check it out as soon as I can. Yeah, I think I got to move right along. And Dirty Dogs, I don't know how many Dirty Dogs I'm taking right out the gate. I'm not going to lie. It's just during some parts of the season, we'll get back to the Dirty Dogs, but I don't think we'll do it right now. Next game, 509, 510. Orlando Magic and Miami Heat. Opened up Heat -1.5. They're now 2-point favorite. Total opened up 210 down to 208. And Orlando has nobody on the injury report for Miami. I see just Richardson out for them. I got to mention this, Rob. So you see Orlando's underdogs in this game, right? But Orlando is favorite to win this division. I just thought that's pretty interesting. Maybe it's just the home court, but even the win totals, I don't know. That caught my attention. Are people still undervaluing Orlando? It's kind of what I'm thinking as far as a point spread range, because I think they're the better team. I think they should clearly win this division. But a lot of it is that I can't trust this Miami team to be healthy, and right now they are healthy. So I want to bet Orlando. That's the only way I'm even thinking about this game. They were good last year. They added KCP, who fits right into what they want to do and can add some shooting to it as well. He talked about how everybody over there plays defense. I like this team. Uh, can you talk me off of Orlando?
It's hard, Ski. I mean, I would like to get there too. The only thing that stopped me is Miami's fully healthy. I think you mentioned that already. So Miami not missing any pieces. They get so used to playing without guys throughout the season. This is one game that they'll probably take extremely seriously, as will Orlando. And, a couple things you said that I was going to bring to the table. Number one, KCP and that 3-point shooting. I remember being on here with you quite a bit last year, and even on the Wagertalk shows, where the one detriment to the Orlando team was they can't shoot perimeter wise, right? And now they add a guy who can shoot. It makes them even more dangerous. Franz Wagner played a lot of basketball this summer. I think he was on that German Olympic team where he played really, really well. You wonder if maybe midseason or something that doesn't get to him, but I don't think right now. This is a team with a lot of good players, 1 through 9, and I don't want to be against them, but I'm not sure that I want to be on them in this particular situation. So I did lay off. I looked at total. You know how I am with these Miami totals. I always feel like the odds maker just undersells Miami where total is concerned. It's down to 208 here. We'll see. Maybe I'll find some way to get to that, but right now I haven't.
I'm trying to research the Magic as road dogs last year, and my query service is acting up. So my bad, you guys. But Magic and season equals. Why is it not showing me the results that I'm looking for? Well, somebody in the chat said the Magic weren't good as a road dog last year. I think it was Joe. And here it is. He says, couldn't trust Orlando as dogs on the road. Wonder if that changes with another year experience. If this is correct, I just was trying to verify because the site says something about updating. It says they were 16-16, so middle of the pack, not good, not bad. But 9-23 straight up in that role last year. So we'll see. Maybe that is something to look into before I jump into this game. Any last words before we keep it going?
Yeah, no, I'm with you. And in this case, you're actually asking Orlando to win straight up almost. I mean, you could lose by 1 and still cover. So I don't know how they were straight up on the road, but it's just a difficult game for me. If Miami had anybody out, I think I would have been towards Orlando.
So we feel the same. Maybe I feel like Orlando is going to outlast Miami for the entire season because they'll stay healthy and they'll play good, etc. But right now, everybody's healthy, so it's like we pump the brakes. In the chat, they say Jay Money's on the Heat, and you know what that makes me think. I just I kind of pay attention to everybody and know a little bit of how they bet. And the first thing I said when I broke this down was Orlando is favorite to win the division, but they're underdogs today. Maybe they're just underdogs for a reason today, even though, maybe that line is what it is for a reason. That's what that makes me think. So I'll keep that game on my radar, cap it a little bit more. I know I'll talk about it a little bit later as well. And we'll move over to Bucks and Sixers. Opened up Sixers -4.5. Flip of favorites. Bucks now -3.5. Total open 225 and it's down to 220, 223.5. I do see a 223 though. For the injury report, both Embiid and Paul George are out, and I see Middleton out for the Bucks. For some reason, it says Giannis in the may not play section, but I think he's supposed to be out there. So, Veno, I'm going to pass this one to you first. This is in your neck of the woods. Can Maxey do it on his own? Can he keep Philadelphia close or win the game?
Well, how about we start with Glenn coming back to Philadelphia? Skee, right? I'm sure the team, Milwaukee's a team that I personally had a little asterisk next to heading in. I just think that it's an embarrassment what happened to them last year, and I don't think that they'll play that way this year. Defensively, they were horrendous. Too much pride on that side. to have another season like that. So I think that they will play better. And I do like them in this game without Embiid and without Paul George here. Tyrese Maxey, saw an interview locally here with him last night. He had said he's just about ready for anything now, shouldering offensive burden, because last year when guys were out, specifically Embiid, and defenses shifted to him, he said, I saw every single defense you could possibly imagine. I know what to expect. I think I can perform. I don't doubt Tyrese Maxey. I doubt the rest of the lineup, though, and I kind of doubt the bench against this Milwaukee team. So for me, it's Milwaukee tonight. I do think that the team will come in here motivated, and not that Philly won't be. Just it's so hard to win this game shorthanded in my mind when I looked at the matchup. So for me, I'm on the Bucks, and I think they'll probably win pretty convincingly here tonight.
I can't talk you off. Obviously I don't like getting the ass into the line, but it's hard for me to see them losing and not just, at least win this game by a little margin. Going back to the last game, they're saying Jeff is saying the Heat are 9-0 straight up versus the Magic at home last 9. So maybe some reasons to look towards the Heat in this first game. I don't like it as because I bet the Magic to win the division, but I could absolutely see it happening the more I think about it. And there we go. There he is in the chat. They said he's on the Heat and he's in the chat. What's good, Jay Money? Shout out to my boy. Hopefully NBA is treating you right today. And we'll have Jay Money on tomorrow. He'll be around tomorrow. He'll be right here with me capping these games. So appreciate you tuning in, tapping in. He says Dame might go crazy from 3 today. So he's probably agreeing with you too on Milwaukee.
I'm hoping Jake can get his bet down, because when I see him on X, he's got, how are you, Jake? I see you have a little problem with those books out there. They don't want to take your bets, at least not decent sized ones. So you can come to Pennsylvania. They'll take them here, buddy.
Yeah, some places you can go still. Some places on the map you still can get them. And guys showing them some love, saying we will win, as Jay's saying. Let's keep it going. We're getting close to some plays that I want to make here. Getting close.
All right.
I think I like the back end of the slate a little bit more. Cavs and Raptors opened up 3.5-point favorites for Cleveland. They're now 6.5-point favorites. And this total, I mean, it's kind of skyrocketed here. It's gone up 7 points from 218.5 to 225.5. Injury report: Max Strus is out. Imani Bates is out for Cleveland. For Toronto, looks like they'll be without Bruce Brown, RJ Barrett, Kelly Olynyk, and Jacoby Walter. I don't really feel strongly about this game, honestly. I would like to think Toronto continues to play with pace. Cleveland, I'm unsure about this team. The one thing is I don't really trust them. I feel like they've shown us who they are already this year. And I feel like they were solid at home sometimes, but it's just not a team that I trust too much. So lean over. Is that the way you're going in this one, Rob?
Well, I didn't, only because it soared so quickly. I think you made the point that everybody else saw when they bet this game over, is that Toronto, what we saw of them at the end of last year was nothing but full court pace, high scoring games. Trying to drag Cleveland into one of those sometimes can be difficult, but I think towards the end there, you could see that with Donovan Mitchell on this team, if they're playing a team that lacks defense, they can score as well. And Jared Allen back in the middle is huge. Last year, back half of the season, I feel like we were always worried that Jared Allen was hurt. They weren't the same. All their bigs were hurt last year at the end. So they're intact. They've got so many scoring weapons. It's another one of those teams, Skee, where you probably had high expectations last year that you didn't meet and should come out fired up to start this season. It's a good opponent to play. I look at the first four off the Toronto bench tonight: Davion Mitchell, Chris Boucher, Garrett Temple, Bruno Fernando. Can any of those four make a shot? I know there's some good defenders there, but wow, that's a weak offensive bench for Toronto. And perhaps, I don't know, it's hard to individualize now, but these second quarters where bench versus bench happens, or even first half where you can maybe extend your lead in the second quarter because the other side bench is so weak. Maybe Cleveland's a situational bet here tonight. I don't see any way I could get to Toronto, though. And I'm going to look right now, Skee, because I don't have this number real quick. Cleveland's team total has jumped from 111 to 116 in some spots. I don't think I want any part of that. So it's hard, but there's no way I'd be on Toronto. There's probably no way I'd be on under. I think there still might be ways to find the Cleveland side. Specifically, if you want to just sit around with your apps open, maybe second quarter stuff against that Toronto bench.
Why? I mean, I'm just checking numbers here. The first half is 115. What was the full game here? 225. I guess that's not too crazy. No, I thought it was crazier in my head when I saw it. But I was trying to figure out ways to try to get this over too. But that's the way I see this game going. I'm just not sure I'm ready to put my money on it right now. We got to be careful when the games just started. We don't want to step on any landmines and blow up. And we just won some money yesterday. Let's not give it back. Try to just, soon we'll have data on all these teams and we can play like, how we like to play, a little bit more volume and freely. But as right now, we got to be careful and pick our spots. So with 10 games on the slate, I got to take it slow. I might have a lot of plays by the end of the day, but taking it slow while I'll talk them out and think about them. Hornets and Houston, 5-15, 5-16. Opened up Houston minus 6.5. They are 8-point favorites now. Total open 234.5 and has dipped all the way as low as 229. For the injury report here, Josh Green is game time. Jeffries and Williams are out for the Hornets. And then you have Steven Adams. Looks like he's game time still for the Rockets. I'll say this, Rob. The Hornets had been a team I didn't want to back. And the reason being, I just couldn't take them serious. It didn't seem like they even cared about winning games. I hear Miles Bridges saying, he wants to make the playoffs this year. They do have LaMelo Ball back. I like Brandon Miller. I think this could be a team that's undervalued in the market. I want to say that, and I hope they don't let me down. But that's kind of how I'm feeling about the Hornets right now. For the Rockets, they're a young team. They're well coached. They have some really good players. I expect them to continue to trend upwards as well. But do I expect them to win by double digits in this first game? It's hard for me to say that. So I'm leaning towards the Hornets. How do you feel about it?
I feel like I don't understand why people bet this total down, Skee. 234 down to 229. A couple of reasons why. Number one, Houston has committed themselves, admittedly, to playing extremely fast again this year. That's the way they want to go. That's the way Ime Udoka wants to play. That's the way they played the preseason. Wants to clean up some stuff that comes along with fast tempo, but he wants to play 94-foot basketball. Now, when I look at the other side with LaMelo back and Charles Lee, the new head coach for Charlotte, but he comes from Boston, where all they do, we saw last night, they made 29 threes, right? They shoot a bunch of threes. So I had to go in and see what he had to say, find a couple of quotes over the past month from him. And specifically, he mentions threes. LaMelo Ball, he wants him to shoot threes. Said LaMelo's getting better at hunting threes and getting them for his teammates. So I feel like he's bringing that three-point philosophy to Charlotte. I got one team that wants to go extremely fast. I got another team that wants to shoot a lot of threes and can go fast. We've seen that in the past. They've got a history of it. I don't know how people bet this game under. 5 points worth of under. So I'm going to be the contrarian. I step in at this point at 229. I'll probably end up on over in this game. Houston, another one of those teams, kind of not quite in the class of Indiana, but the same mindset where they feel like they're ready to make that next step. And I don't think this is a team that will come out slow out of the gates. They're just not built that way. A lot of youth on this squad. So I could see Houston running up points. I could see Charlotte running up points. Again, I don't understand the move toward under, so I'll step in and play over 229.
Blitz said, new coach, new system, Hornets will ball. And this was making me think here, Rob. You can tell me what you think about these two comments from KC here. He says, Hornets been giving effort on defense this preseason. Like LaMelo was playing preseason defense, which is crazy to say. And she says that showed me the mindset of that Hornets team shifted. And maybe a new coach can do that. So does that make you think or change your opinion? Or
Well,
and
that
Jay
is
Money says Hornets defense will be better this year.
and real quick, that is the Boston way, right? But Boston has actual proven defenders. The Boston way is to play defense and shoot a lot of threes, right? So you would expect Charles Lee coming from there to bring the same thing. So I don't doubt that they would be better. To say that they have what Boston has on the perimeter, better on defense is probably the right way to look at it. But when you're Charlotte, better on defense doesn't mean holding teams to 112 or less. It probably you drop from 120 to 115 or something. So I think this game is a little light the way it's going to be played, up and down. Houston's tough to keep up with. And we saw last night the Knicks could not stop the Celtics from making it. Not that Charlotte has the Celtics three-point shooters either, but I just like the style of this game and don't understand what I would call an overreaction. 5.5 points worth of movement on the total here to me is a little much.
Well, we'll find out tonight when we watch it. Hank's starting to learn here. Rob, he says, "Rob, I'm on the over Veno."
Love it, Hank. If we can't find him, we scratch him.
Saturated says, "Yeah, he's asking me. Yeah, I like Şengün's game a lot. I messed that up, but yeah, I like his game a lot." Let's keep it going down the list. Now, this is a game I do have a bet on. Chicago and New Orleans opened up Pelicans -6.5. It's down to 5.5. Total opened up 222.5. It looks like 226.5 is the consensus. As far as injuries are concerned, I don't see anybody on there for the Bulls, for the Pelicans. Everybody's a little banged up already. Alvarado is game time. DeJounte Murray is game time. Zion is game time. And Murphy is out. I feel like the Bulls are the right side in this game. I'm not gonna lie. No matter who plays or who doesn't play, I think that there'll be another team who's going to be more competitive than people think this year, and I think we can start here in this first game. So I lean Bulls, but what I decided to play is Giddy over. It went up. I looked at it. It was 24.5. Took a second. Came back. It was 25.5. So that's where I got in. Giddy over 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. He was asking for a bigger role. Now he's got it. The last time we saw him playing, a lot of minutes, 30 plus minutes, was his sophomore year, and he was averaging above 30 PRA. So I think this first game, he'll go out and try to prove why he wanted that role, and I think he'll do a decent job, a solid job doing it. So Giddy over 25.5 PRA is my play for this game. How do you feel about it, Veno?
Yeah, I didn't play just because of the list of question marks early. We could still get there later. I did see DeJounte Murray made it to shoot around and did participate in shoot around, so I think you can put him in the lineup. Zion is more a sickness rather than an actual injury, so who knows by game time if he'll be feeling good enough to get on the floor or not. Might have to wait a little bit on this one. I don't disagree with you, though, on the Bulls. Josh Giddey has 3 guys in that starting lineup that he can actually feed. He's much more of a passer first. And in fact, for those who watched him in the Olympics play for Australia, he took on, and maybe it's the way that team plays, but he really took on this role of a guy who relentlessly penetrated to the rim, either shoot a layup or dish, one or the other. But Kobe White, Zach LaVine, and Vucevic are going to benefit from him being out there, distributing the basketball. That's what he's best at. I don't get involved in these props, Skee, because the one year I tried to veer off and start betting more props than games, I checked my wallet and didn't see as much in there, so I stopped betting props. But Josh Giddey covers all 3 of those categories really, really well. 25.5 does seem like a low number. I'm not involved. I'd like to see what New Orleans shows us this year. Bench is deep. But you said something about a team earlier, and I forget which one it was, where you said, I think they've already shown us who, maybe it was Cleveland. I think they've already shown us who they are. And maybe New Orleans has already shown us who they are. You keep expecting them to be better because of the names on paper, but it doesn't seem to amount to anything. DeJounte could be a big key, though. We'll see. I think he's going to play tonight.
All right, let's move it on over to Memphis and Utah. This one opened up with the Grizzlies as a 2.5 point favorite, still sitting right there. Um, my bad. Total open 228.5 and hasn't moved. Injury report. A lot of people on here for the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson Jr., Luke Kennard, GG Jackson, Cam Spencer, and Vince Williams all out for Utah. Juzang out and Collier out. Um, First thing that comes to mind when you look at this game, Rob, what is it?
You don't have to ask me twice. I want to bet it over. That's the first thing that comes to mind.
Well, I'll tell you this. I bet a player prop over. I went John Morant over. What was it? 33.5 points and assists. Um, he's been gone for a while, but I know he can't wait to come back and make his mark and just show everybody that he's here still. And I think this is a prime spot to do it versus Jazz, a team he's had success versus. Damn, I should have the stats in front of me. I didn't put my note sheet there, but I think I have it right here. No, I don't have it. But this is a team he's had success versus like the last 5 times, and it's just his first game of the season after being out for so long. So I like Ja over 33.5 points plus assists. How you feeling about it? Well, you like the game over, right?
I do. Well, Utah at home last year, Skee, we went through those numbers almost every time they were a home team. Score a bunch, allow a bunch. I know that this group is a year older and you start to work on things and get better at things, but I still think that they are what they are. They're an offensive-minded team that goes deep in the bench with scoring ability, especially at home. And I, too, with you, one of the reasons for playing this game over is you have to believe that the Memphis side is going to score here with John Morant back. He's been a guy, like you say, that's been watching for way too long, wants to get back out there. I wonder how Zach Edey fits in here with the Memphis Grizzlies. We'll find out. But they come off the bench with a lot of scoring ability as well. Again, the number looked too small to me. Last year in Utah home games, you're constantly seeing, mid 230s. And now they're going to give us a team with their star, one of the NBA's premier offensive players, back, and they're going to give it to us at 228.5. Just seems like an early season number that may be a little bit off. We'll give it a shot here. Utah at home is, they produce really high scores.
Yeah, Oakley saying I have the under. I got to get that checked out because I definitely bet the over. That's my bad. My bad on that. Edey, you talked about Edey. Saturated likes Edey. I know you're not the big player prop guy. 11.5 points, 8.5 rebounds, double plus 220. I could definitely see him on the boards, and I could see him getting some easy points too from Ja. So good stuff on that game. That threw me off. I gotta fix that. I gotta get that taken care of. I know I bet it. I know which way I bet it. I gotta make sure it's correct in the system for everybody. 521, 522, Phoenix and LA Clippers. Opened up Clippers -1. They're now a 5-point favorite. Total open 224.5, and it looks like 225.5. Injury report for Phoenix, Damian Lee and Grayson Allen. Game time. Okogie is out. For the Clippers, no Kawhi, no PJ Tucker, and no Mo Bamba. For me, it's simple. Phoenix or nothing. I just think that they're a lot better than the Clippers. I think that they're hungry to to make their mark this season. And I love the addition of Tyus Jones for this team. They just really needed a real point guard, and he gives them that. So Phoenix, I know the line is you're getting the ass into the line. The best number you can get right now is -4.5. That's the way that I would play it. How do you view this game, Veno?
Well, you answered my question because I was going to ask you, am I misguided for liking Phoenix in this game? But I do, and I particularly because of the head coach, right? Mike Budenholzer is there now. And Budenholzer's just got a history of stepping into these situations and turning things around for teams. Team seems to have a lot of belief in him because he's got the proven track record. Tyus Jones at point guard is a difference maker in my mind as far as Just sheer distribution and knowing who he's got on the floor with him, so many scores. The bench is so deep as well. Again, it falls into that category for me, the same as Milwaukee, of teams that had huge expectations last year and fell on their face. Those are the two that there was a lot of talk about potential NBA championship, and both came nowhere near NBA championship. So I would expect them out of the gates quick. Clippers a little bit banged up here. I never want to sell them short, and you're right. Bad end of the price tag now at 5.5. I got in a little bit earlier, got 3.5 with Phoenix, so I'm happy with that. But I still couldn't recommend the Clippers here. I think Phoenix just going to be one of those teams like Milwaukee. I'll put them in the same group as teams that want to get accomplished what they should have gotten accomplished last year but couldn't.
So -3.5 is what you got. Jay Money's liking it. He's liking Tyus Jones as well. 3.5, pretty good number. I'm right there with you, Rob. I think you'll get paid. So good stuff there. Let's move it down to the last game on the slate. That is the Warriors and the Blazers. Opened up Warriors -3.5. They're now a 6-point favorite. Total opened 226.5, and it's down to 221 at a few shops. Nobody on the injury report for the Warriors. Sharp, Matisse Thybulle, and Robert Williams all out for the Blazers. I think that the Blazers could be able to keep this game competitive for the start of it. But once you start getting to some bench players, that's when I think Golden State will have a lot more success. And Golden State, I'll say this: it's another game where you'd have to get the ass into the line. I do think Golden State can beat them by margin, but I'm just not ready to get to the window. Did you get to the window on this game? You know,
I didn't. Couple of reasons why. Portland had some key guys listed in the injury list, and the one thing at least for me, I think about Portland is that they're going to play hard for Chauncey. They played hard last year to the bitter end, just undermanned, overmatched. And I kind of like what Golden State has done with additions to this lineup are concerned, or at least to the rotation. When you add Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson, two different style players, right? One is going to give you a lot of offense. Kyle Anderson is going to give you all those plays that don't show up in the box score. Very good addition in my mind. You add that to DeAnthony Melton. Last year I had doubts about and I shouldn't even say I had doubts. I think it was proven that Golden State's bench was a little bit thin last year for sure. And this year, I don't see that in them. If Andrew Wiggins has any bit of a comeback season in him, that second unit's going to be pretty darn good. We, for a couple of years now, have looked at Golden State third quarter, the way they start second halves. That kind of goes to your point about maybe Portland could hang in early, but Golden State third quarter is always the thing. So maybe that happens here. I kind of like what I see in the additions out of the Golden State Warriors here. And maybe they're a little bit undervalued heading into this season. Didn't play them here in this game. But I couldn't play Portland in this one, that's for sure.
there we go. There we go. You can hear me now. I not getting involved with that game. So think we did a decent job. I know it's early in the season at a 10-game slate. We got through it, and I at least have a couple bets. Move over to best bets here. Oh no, before we do best bets, I did want to put this up for a promo. Let's see if we got this here. Fill your cart sale. Oh, I gotta take the banner off. Being a novice, fill your cart sale at Wagertalk. Just today, you can take 20% off as many daily and all access passes as you can fit in your cart. Use code PhilUp20 at checkout. You can get, I think it's a good time to get an all access pass. That way, whenever we release a play, it comes right to you. So that would be my suggestion, and that's my promo for both of us. Rob, if there's anything else you would like to add to that as far as promo wise, or if you have a best bet out of everything we talked about, feel free to let the people know.
Well, the promo is going to be the same as exactly what you just showed. The Wager Talk Fill Your Cart Wednesday. So go ahead and participate in that. You can get packages of any style on days like this. Something that came to mind here real quick when we were talking about Jay Money, the NBA going back to the 1990s theme song just reminded me of him starting his show all the time with the 90s style theme song. So good for Jay to have that song back now. He can probably use it on his videos. I think where best bets are concerned, Steve, the one I like the most is Milwaukee here, minus the points coming into Philadelphia. I just think the team is highly motivated. I think Rivers, we don't care for his coaching style, but I think situationally this is a good spot for the team to respond for him. And Philadelphia missing two of their big guns. I just don't know if they can keep up. Love Tyrese Maxey, but I think the Bucks to win by 4. Even at this price, it's moved from Philly 4.5 all the way to the side 3.5. I think Milwaukee's 4 points better than Philadelphia's tonight. Eastern Conference matchup, heavyweight type, where you have to send a little bit of a message. I think the Bucks will.
All right, good stuff from Veno. For my best bet, I'll go with Giddey over the 25.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Like I said, it's the role he's been asking for. As long as he's gotten the minutes, which he did like in his sophomore year, he's gotten over 30 or averaged over 30 PRA, and I think he'll show that here tonight. So Giddey, points, rebounds, and assists, 25.5 is my best bet for the show. Veno, appreciate you taking the time to come break this humongous slate down with me. We'll be back on Friday. And chat, appreciate you all as well. A lot of good people, a lot of good cappers. And can't tell you enough how much I appreciate y'all support and tapping in. So best of luck if you tell. Good luck, everybody, on all your action. I'll catch you guys at 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time with the OG crew.